Wow, watching this live stream, and looks like I started with the yeah, I started with the camera directly on here and not on my face, and then you guys got to watch me take a sip of coffee, and yeah, off to a great start. Great start, everybody. Woo, what's going on? Live stream time. Just see a couple of you guys hanging out in here right now. Let me pop this chat out so I can get a better look at it. Let's see if I can. No. You know, I wish that YouTube had a feature where I can increase the size of the font, because right now my monitor is very far away from me, and yeah, hard to read. But we are live, apparently. YouTube tells me we're live anyway. And how are you guys doing? How does this stream look and sound? We got a little bit of a different angle going on here. And I'm sorry if I am actually not looking at the camera. The monitor that I'm using for everything here is like right here. So if I look in this direction, no offense, but I'm like looking at the stream or reading the chat or making sure that everything is set up fine. And I hope that I have fixed the tearing issue. Now, I didn't have this problem the last stream that I did, but I think 2 streams ago, I had a huge problem where people were saying that the main camera, the A cam, had a lot of tearing. And I know that that is awful to look at. I don't know what the problem was. I tried to do everything I could to change things around and fix it. And I was doing some tests initially. Maybe you guys saw my tweets where I was trying to make sure that everything looked okay and wasn't tearing. And from what I could tell, it wasn't. So if it is now, again, I am very sorry, but unfortunately, there's really not a whole lot that I could do about it, you know, at least for the time being. So, and I see some sounds good, looks good from Silver. My cat is going to make all kinds of noise trying to climb into a box. That's cool. No issues with the stream. Let's go. Hell yeah. And then Matthew Lang wants to know what we are overclocking with. And we will certainly talk about that as we get into it. I'm not going to do a big... Man, Newman. I know I mentioned the cat. I got to get him on camera at some point, but he's messing around in a box. So, yeah. So we're gonna go over what we're doing here today. Can you guys hear that? Can you guys hear that? I have like some like packing paper in a box, and of course Newman has found it just right now. It's been there for like a week. All right. So. Yeah, while we wait for, I guess, some more people to get in here and come and hang out with us, I'll go over some things with you initially that maybe some people get caught up on later on. But first of all, you're going to see me drinking some Starbucks, and I don't really ever drink Starbucks through a straw, except when I'm wearing like something white, or because these lids tend to splash. So this is just precautionary because I don't want to get myself covered in coffee while live on stream. So cheers to you guys if you're drinking coffee or an alcoholic beverage or anything else. Today, what we are going to be doing is we're going to be doing some liquid nitrogen overclocking. And we're going to be doing it on, this is something that I had tweeted about a couple of weeks ago, that I want to start including in my content, in addition to the kinds of videos that you guys are used to. I want to start including some live stream content of overclocking and other things. I want to do a keyboard build. I have a really cool full-size custom keyboard coming that I want to do a live build of. If you guys are into that, let me know. But I specifically wanted to do some live streams of liquid nitrogen or dry ice overclocking, basically sub-zero overclocking, because the last time that I tried this, you guys are probably aware if you have been watching the channel for any length of time, that I I blew up a 6900 XT. And as it turns out, I'm in pretty good company there. I'm not the only person to have done that while sub-zero overclocking. So I think that the initial run of 6900 XTs maybe were not the best subjects for that kind of content. But I do have another 6900 XT coming, and I'm going to be doing some regular overclocking content with it. So that should be fun. But the last outing of sub-zero overclocking was with that card. We broke it. That was a giant hit to the wallet because that's a very expensive product. And I really kind of shied away from doing it any longer with especially newer, expensive, hard to get hardware. But I thought about it a little bit more, and I want to still do it. I just maybe want to do it with stuff that I can afford to lose if for some reason I blow it up or break something. And I know that what we're going to be working with here today is still pretty expensive, as is I don't really have any use for it for the channel or for my personal use. So even though it wouldn't be great to break something that we're going to be using today, it would be okay moving forward for the channel. It wouldn't really set me back at all. So we are going to be using the X299 platform and the 7980XE to do some overclocking. Now, I did put up a poll, and you guys do want to see the 2600K overclocked as well. I talked to BuildZoid about that, and it has a pretty substantial and warm cold bug, which means that if it gets too cold, it won't boot. So especially when you're dealing with liquid nitrogen, that threshold gets passed pretty quickly. And I figured for somebody who's admittedly a novice when it comes to liquid nitrogen specifically, I've only ever done it once before, that I would try something that's probably a little more forgiving first, and then before we move on to stuff that is going to be harder to do. So let me show you the camera angles. We got this camera angle, this A cam. We've got this B cam, and this is going to be, the pot's going to go here. We have our this is going to be our thermocouple readout here for this pot. This is a Bits Power LN2 pot. It's a giant lump of copper. This is quite substantial and heavy. And then here is our CPU. Hopefully the camera will focus on it. There we go. That is a 7980XE. This chip has been delidded and liquid metalled. It has not been lapped, but I did a quick and very unscientific test, and what I think is that it is, let me actually do this. It's actually a pretty flat chip anyway. So I think that this is going to be pretty good. I hope it's going to be pretty good. If not, we could always lap it for the future. Maybe make that another video. Who knows? But we're going to be doing 7980XE. The motherboard is the EVGA X299 Dark. I can't lift it up right now. It's on the bed and it's screwed down. But it has kneaded artist eraser all over it to protect it from condensation and cold. We're going to be using Crucial Ballistics Max Memory DDR4 4000. I found this to be excellent overclocking memory. And then the GPU is basically irrelevant. It's just an RX 550. It's just something to get us a display output because we're not going to be messing with the GPU today. The power supply is a Thermaltake 1000 watt unit. Should be more than enough power for what we're doing here. And I think in the future, moving forward, the chips that I want to do some overclocking on, I got a board from Jay. He sent me his Gigabyte X99 SoC Champion. And X99 isn't great for sub-zero overclocking, especially if you're going to be playing with memory. The memory controller on those chips is not great, but I still think that I want to give it a try. So we're going to be trying the 7980XE now. Then we're going to move on to X99. So that's the 6950X and the 5960X, both of the Extreme Edition chips in that lineup. We're going to be trying the 2600K. I want to do some with the old AMD platform. I have a really good AMD 8370. That it's a strong overclocker on ambient, and I think that would be fun to get on here, get some crazy high clock speeds that produce basically no results, but still crazy clock speeds are always fun to see. And then, whatever else comes along. Maybe we could even try some older graphics cards or, something along those lines. But basically the idea is to get decent at this without risking some really expensive hardware. And I think that this is a really good way to do it. Some people had suggested this on Twitter as well, so thank you very much if you had suggested this. This was a good idea, and I think it's going to be fun. So once again, I am not a professional at liquid nitrogen. I have a decent amount of experience with dry ice. Now, dry ice is going to get down to a temperature of -70 in an acetone bath, whereas liquid nitrogen, we're talking -150, or potentially even lower. So it's exponentially colder, basically. Well, maybe not exponentially, but it's quite a bit colder, and it is another animal entirely. And I've only ever done this once before, so I'm assuming I'm going to be terrible at it. So we're going to take baby steps here. I'm going to do my best, and I'm more than happy to entertain any comments or suggestions from you guys in the chat as far as things that I could try out, things that I could do differently within the BIOS or whatever else. But for now, what we're going to do is we're going to start by getting our chip mounted and our pot mounted, and then might as well get going. So that's my opening spiel. I hope that you guys enjoy this kind of content, and I hope that I am not too terrible at it. But yeah, so we've got this camera, the A cam. We've got the B camera, which is the bench, and the pot's going to be here with the temperature. Then we have the good old side by side. And then we have this. This is going to be the display capture for the overclocking system, for this system. So you guys can actually see what I'm doing in the BIOS and see what kind of, Cinebench scores or whatever we're going to get. So we got a couple of different angles, and no chicken clocking per the Manic Geek. So let me see if we got to go back up here. How many people we got in here now? 42? 42. Okay. Hope that we can get a little more than that. But for now, it is at least a good place to start. And I appreciate all you guys coming and hanging out. All right. So let me just read through the chat and see if anybody has any interesting questions or comments, and then we'll get to it. My Little Pony says, I've been playing with X299 lately as well. It's been kick-ass. I love that platform. I actually also really like this platform. It was always really good for me. I used it for a long time for content creation, and it really didn't give me any problems at all for stability, for overclocking, for connectivity, anything like that. I really didn't have any problems. Hold on, I gotta stand up for this. I'm gonna put this in the wrong slot. Okay. So yeah, I hope you guys can still hear me. X299 was awesome, and when I moved on, my content creation moved on to Threadripper. It was strictly because Threadripper was just so good. Not that I had necessarily problems with X299, and I really do kind of wish that Intel had done something to move that platform forward a little bit, because they really just got passed by, unfortunately, by AMD. And, they've just been kind of non-competitive in that space ever since. And hopefully that changes. Competition is good. I'm not an Intel fanboy, but I do hope that they come back with something that can compete with Threadripper. Because, AMD is going to move on now to, let's do this. How about this? To Threadripper 5000 series, and then Intel's just going to be like way behind, and it might be hard to come back from. So you know, I hope that I hope we end up at a point where both companies have something good. But X299 was always really good to me, and the fact now that it is a little bit older and you know I could do things like this with it is kind of fun. Scroll down in the chat here. Oh, we get a super chat come through from Rob S. $10. Thank you so much. Some LN2 money. Thanks for doing this. Well, thank you very much. I'm going to need that $10 when I inevitably blow this up. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much, Rob. And My Little Pony again says, only so much you could do when you're stuck on the same process node for 5+ years. And that is entirely true. They had a huge problem, and I'm glad to see that they're moving on from it finally. I wonder how this sounds. Does this sound really weird to you guys as I'm screwing these things down? We'll do a split screen action here. There we go. That way that you could see directly into my crotch as I do this. That's what you guys came here for, I think. So while I'm just setting up things, feel free to ask any questions. If you guys have any questions about overclocking or about this setup or about liquid nitrogen or anything else, just feel free to ask. I will do my best to answer. All right, so this is looking pretty good, pretty solid on there. Honestly, this doesn't need like a whole lot of mounting pressure. Like you want it to be solid, and you want it to like not move around. This isn't going anywhere. But pre-stream, when I was testing everything, essentially I had this just sitting on the chip with no retention at all, and these are heavy enough where you can do that, and it still creates enough of a thermal sink where it still works really well. So here we go. Let's turn this on. The problem with this reader is that it shuts itself off after like 10 minutes or something like that. So, okay. Mike asked, what was the most daunting thing about learning to do this for you? I think the fact that I just kind of did like trial by fire, where I didn't really. I felt like I kind of had to do it because everybody else was doing it, and I went into it with more confidence than I probably should have, and getting all the equipment together, and then realizing what I had to do to accomplish my goal was like, it just kind of hit me all of a sudden, and I was kind of overwhelmed. The amount of things that you need to be able to manage while doing this is pretty substantial, and I didn't necessarily have the knowledge or skill to be able to do that at first, and I kind of had to learn, right? So, you know, that's really what it was for me. So I'm going to see if this is working. There we go. There's our system. There we are. So you can see that there's no LN2 in the pot right now, and we are at 31.4 degrees on the CPU. And I could actually let this run, and it'll run just fine for quite a while, even under stress, just because there's so much copper in this pot. It's such a heat sink that it'll do just fine until this gets fully thermally saturated, which could take an hour or more. All right. So let me see if I want to, if this fan is in a good spot. I want to keep it here. Maybe I want to, maybe I want to put it here. Okay. All right. So liquid metal is going to crack. Well, I guess we'll find out. I didn't liquid metal this ship myself. It was done by somebody else. Not that I wouldn't have done it myself, but I bought it already done. So and it's not delidded to the point where I can then take off the heat spreader and redo it. It's silicone down. Okay, so why don't we do this and go into XTU. All right, so let me make this a little bit smaller so it's easier for you guys to see. There we go. So we go down here. So everything is running like, it's still at 45C, which is fine for now. And then it's obviously not loaded. And this is one of the things that we're going to be using to make some changes, but I do prefer to use the BIOS if at all possible. But I'm going to keep this up just so that we can compare this temperature that's on the screen to this temperature right here and make sure that we are in sync. If we are in sync, that means that the mount is good. So let's minimize this. Let's run Cinebench on this. This is a Venti, not a Trenta. Thank you very much, Mike. All right. So here we go with Cinebench. And I'm going to keep an eye on the temps. 47, 49, 50, 53, 54. Yeah, it's going up slowly, 55. So, while this clearly isn't ideal for optimum performance, we're not package temp 80C. That's a little different. Where'd that come from? Well, maybe we'll have to test them out with the LN2. All right, so 76.99. I'm gonna write that down somewhere, or somebody remember that. Somebody remember that. 76.99 is our score initially before we do anything. So what I think I want to do now is I have a couple of thermoses, and my dewer, my liquid nitrogen dewer, is outside. So let me go fill these up, and then we're gonna do a little splash, a little splashy splash, and I'll be right back. All right, sorry guys. Sorry for the delay. All right, so why don't we do this? I put just a little bit, just cool it down like a little bit. See how the temperature reacts to that. Should start coming down, and it is. $57. A little more. So what I learned from working with Steve is that you don't necessarily just want to slam this all at once, because you run into huge issues that way. But you could see it coming down now as the pot temperature car starts to come down. There we go. All right, so we're gonna get down to say 0, and then I'm gonna run this again at stock. So right now pot is saying 7.36.9, and XTU is saying 2 degrees, 1 degree. So I think we're good. I think we're good on the mount for now. We're at 4. I'm gonna put a little more in, and then why don't we try running Cinebench again? 76.99. See how this affects the temperature. It starts to come up pretty rapidly. Try to keep it around 0 for now. Yeah, negative 1.6, negative 1.8. And that's good. Negative 2. That's right where we want to be for now. $7,800. Okay, so we improved by 101 points just by getting it a little colder. So why don't we, so as not to waste any LN2, let's restart and start making some changes. So My Little Pony, I am under the assumption that you have done this before. So I trust that you are accurate in your assessment of the problems with liquid metal. However, I actually don't even know that this was done properly or at all. So I'm just assuming that that's what was done with this chip after it was delidded, because like I said, I bought it secondhand. So perhaps we won't even run into that issue. I'm not entirely sure. All right, so the first thing I want to do is let's go down and get into some extreme cooling modes and extreme voltage modes. I don't want to change anything on this just yet. Let me go over to memory. And we're not working on memory overclocking. I just want to get this to 4,000 and just leave it there. This is not a memory overclocking stream. So I know that there's a lot to do with memory, and we're not going to worry about that today. So, all right. So I'm going to also want to shut off a few things here. Not that. Okay. All right. So we got a super chat from Leviathan Prim. Hello, BPS. LN2 overclocking is so much fun. I did a 10850K up to 5.8 gigahertz. Need to lap the IHS for better contact with the pot, though. That is true. Okay. So we're not going to go completely for broke here. But I definitely want to not go too slow. So why don't we change the V-core to override and go to 1.25. Let's see. And per core, let's go to 48. How about that? How about that? Okay. Okay. Here we go. So we can see we're at 4 degrees right now. I haven't really splashed this. I'm going to splash it again. I'm going to bring this down a little bit more. Oh, we got something that the board doesn't like. What doesn't the board like? Hold on. Let me take a look. All right, it's going to reset. We're going to try this again. Lovely. The board doesn't like something that I just did. All right. All right, a setting that I just changed did not make this board happy. It would not boot. So we're going to have to reset and try again. This is already off the rails, off the rails. I didn't even change very much at all. All right, this is an X299 board, X299 Dark with a 7980XE for 0 core. Dave's Techway, good evening, Brian, Mike, and chat. Good evening to you, sir. My Little Pony, just leave TJ Maxx enabled. Yeah, I didn't change TJ Maxx. Mike Bergman, hi, BPS Costumes. Hello to you. Mike can't come up with a clever pun for Bergman. All right, there we go. All right, so let's try a few other things then. So I definitely want to. How about I leave memory? Maybe it didn't like the memory. Maybe let me just leave the memory as is then, and we will change everything else. Maybe it's just the problem with the memory profile. What do I have this at? 1.25. Turn the droop off. And 48. Okay. Okay. So we're going to go with 48. So 4.8 gigahertz at 1.25 volts. And I could even change the AVX offsets. But well, how about we leave the AVX for now at 3? Actually, you know what? Why don't I change it to like 2? But everything else is the same as what we had before. So let's just cross our fingers and hope that it was just the memory that it didn't like. All right, so what do we got going on in chat? 50 viewers. What's going on, everybody? All right, we got a good beep. And we're going to bring this down some more. Somebody screen capped this. This looks cool. Yeah, so this should bring it down significantly. Well, I heard a crack. That's not necessarily great. But hopefully not an issue. Negative 56. All right. I'm going to run this at negative 56. Negative 49. Let's go a little colder. $84.66. Significant improvement. Happy with that. All right. Let's see if we could change some things with in the XTU instead. So we're gonna leave everything as is. For now, we'll go up to 50, so that's 5 gigahertz. System will not be able to recover a valid state automatically. Continue and don't show again. And then we'll keep it at 1.25 volts. Come on, I'm not showing you this. So we're going to keep this at 1.25 volts, and I bumped up the multiplier to 50. And right now we're at negative 72 degrees. So this should be stable, but yeah, let's go again. Did we crash? What happened here? It's crashing Cinebench. Oh, now the whole thing froze. Okay. All right, time to make some changes. Okay. I didn't like that very much. All right, so we're gonna do 50 in here. And then we're gonna give it a little more voltage. We'll go to 1.3. And we're gonna save that, try that. Okay. I wonder what cracked. So likely could be the paste that I used in between the pot and the chip. That is very likely to crack at some point. And the way you fix that is with one of these. So that's why this is here. Maybe I should also have a fire extinguisher. Yeah, I'm gonna take a picture of this. I don't think I've ever had this on my desk before. This is cool looking. Okay, so we booted, and we're at negative, let's see. So we're at negative 93 right now. This can go much colder. Like this is, LN2 can get much colder than this. So negative 95, 96 is still, you know, it's pretty close to where you could get with dry ice. So this is kind of within the realm of what I'm used to doing. Once we go colder than that, we'll see. George Michael said, try some real thermal paste if you keep having problems. Liquid metal doesn't work well on LN2. Yeah, so like I said before, I think that this is liquid metal, but I don't know for sure. It could very well not be. And if it's either way, I don't have any way to get into the chip during this live stream. So we froze again. Okay. I'm gonna have to go lower in the higher in the voltage. Come on. All right, so we're at negative 92 degrees, and I am running into failure at 5 gigahertz at 1.3 volts. So we could definitely go higher voltage than that, but does anybody else have any other suggestions that I could try? Because I am more than happy to entertain suggestions of people who have way more experience in this than I do. What happened? Is it not booting? Boot, boot, boot. Frozen? Great. Lovely. All right, I'm not gonna go any colder right now. I might need to warm this up actually. All right, I'm gonna reset the BIOS again. This board is not happy. All right, so this is such an interesting thing for me because like I don't really feel like there's so many things in the PC tech space that I have like a good amount of expertise in and I'm very confident talking on and giving advice on and demonstrating. This is not one of those things. So like me trying this with you guys here live feels to me, it feels like risky for me because I like to be able to project knowledge. But I think it's good for everybody every once in a while to kind of get out of their comfort zone and do something that they could potentially just suck at because it'll lead to way better learning opportunities for you. All right, we booted, thank you. And, you know, maybe this is a time when I just kind of get better at something. And I'm all for that. All right, I don't know what happened here. We bypassed the we bypassed the BIOS, so let's get back into it. 1.3 is still too low, so voltage is best thing to increase. Voltage over 1.4. So yeah, you're probably right, but the overall goal here is to get it to run at the highest clock with the lowest voltage, because the lower the voltage, the less heat you're generating. And if you could do this without generating a ton of heat, that means that you can run more efficiently. So, you know, I should save these profiles because I keep having to do this now. All right, so we're gonna go to 50, and we're gonna go to, let's say, We're gonna keep. Why don't we keep this AVX offset at 3 then? V-core. Why don't we make this 1.425? Just step it way up. Actually, you know what? We'll just do 1.4 for now. Turn off V droop. And okay. All right, so I think that should be good. Super chat, thank you very much, VC Pester. In his Barney voice, we're learning together. Hugs for everybody. Hey, man, that's what this is all about, right? All right, so we're at currently -50. So I'm going to need to go colder than that, but let me just see if this will run at -50. All right. Booting up here. -40. This is what ultra wides are made for. Monday Night Football on one side and XOC on the other side. I dig it. I dig it. All right. So we are booting up. Let me give this a little bit. All right. So right now we are at -50 and falling. So let's see. Cinebench has been crashing us, so let's let XTU load. Origin. No, go away, Origin. Close. All right, XTU is loaded. Let's run this. -45. I think I want to be colder than that. $70.32. What happened there? That seems to be bad. What did we do? How did we get that? How did we get a terrible score? What were we at before? I forget where we were at before. 70. Oh shit! I should have saved that too. 76.99. So did we go down somehow? All right, that isn't great. I think I'm gonna have to warm this up and try again. All right. So, but at least it completed. Let me try one more run because we're at -73 degrees. I'm not gonna splash it anymore, but let me try to run it again. -73 degrees, 5 gigahertz. Like, that seems like we should be getting a much better score. Thermal throttling, yes. I think this is a misreport. Unless the paste cracked and the mount is terrible. That's what happened. That is what happened. We cracked the paste, the mount is terrible, and I have to reflow the paste. All right. All right. See, this is why you run things like XTU. All right. Well, now the fun part. Whoops. What did I do? Accidentally smacked the keyboard. All right. So where are we at now? Let's try to do this again. All right, so that perhaps reflowed the paste. We're back at 40 degrees Celsius, so hopefully that reflowed it. We'll try to bring it down one more time, and if it's not performing as it should, then I'm gonna have to redo the mount, which could be problematic if I have to try to do it now because this pot is quite cold. All right. Are you guys enjoying this? Is this fun for you guys? I hope so. Like this content is just so new for me that I don't really trust myself to make it entertaining. I hope that it is. All right, we've gone back negative now. This, I might have to refill this before we start again. Or at least I could probably get one run in. Probably get one run in and then see what happens. I'm going to run it now at negative 40-ish before the paste cracks again. See, we're at 104 on the package with throttling. So this mount is toast. Yeah, that's unfortunate. I don't know that I'm going to be able to remount this tonight because this, I can't touch that, so I can't get it off. Yeah, 103 on the package, huh? 5,500 points. We managed, through LN2 overclocking, we managed to lose 2,000 points on our Cinebench score. We did it. We did it. Yeah. All right. Well, that sucks. So let me just show you guys really quickly, like, why I can't do anything with this pot right now. So even though I can use the blowtorch inside of it to heat it up a little bit, this exterior here is just, this is going to take forever to warm back up. And I can't, the screws and the springs are actually also extremely cold. So I can't really touch anything in this area, even though this insulation I could probably touch. Yeah. So I put this insulation on here, and this is fine. I could touch that. But if I accidentally happen to put my hand against any of this stuff, it could cause serious damage to my skin. So I don't want to do that. And honestly, like, if this chip was liquid metalled, and you guys were right about liquid metal not functioning well under LN2, then that would certainly explain it as well. It'll be interesting to see what happens when I take this pot off and take a look at the mount, because if the mount still is good, then that means that I'm going to have to open this chip up and clean off the liquid metal, and in order to try again with this chip. But regardless, I still want to do this with other chips. So I have, like I said at the beginning, I have the 6950X 10-core X99, the 5960X 8-core Extreme Edition X99, the 2600K, which might be better with dry ice than with LN2. I have the 8370 AMD chip that I want to try out. And then I don't know, anything else. Like, we could throw in anything else that I think that I could use without breaking the bank for me. Like, if I happen to break the chip, then it wouldn't be a huge loss. So anything that you guys want to see, just let me know. And I don't want to end the stream here. We could talk for a little bit. If you guys want to chat, throw some questions at me or anything like that. But as it stands right now, it looks like I don't know if you guys heard the cracking, but like it cracked pretty loudly at one point. Once we got down to like -80 or so, I heard a pretty loud crack. And then there were several smaller cracks that happened, and it was all coming from in there. So it was either the liquid metal or the paste. And I can't get this pot off until probably tomorrow once it warms up. So yeah, fire away any questions. La Cosa, any petroleum jelly on the board to keep out moisture? No, there's no Vaseline on the board, but I have it covered in, I'll bring up a photo, but I have it covered in a kneaded artist eraser. So what is happening here? No, stop playing a video. Okay. Let me see if I could pull up a photo that I had taken of the board before I mounted it. Where are you? I could have sworn I took one. Oh, there it is. Okay, so I'm going to see if I can maybe do this and then show this to you. So how does that look? Can you guys tell from that? There's kneaded artist eraser all over the board. It's not just around the socket. It's around the socket, the memory slots, the PCIe slots. And this is stuff that I've personally found to be way better, at least for me, than Vaseline. It's way easier to clean up. It literally just peels off when you're done with it, and you can then reuse it. You just, like, it's like Play-Doh. Basically, it's a little thicker Play-Doh. You could ball up again and then mash down and then press into wherever spots you need it. So kneaded artist eraser I found to be better for this, for me, although Vaseline obviously still works. So does like Plastidip, stuff like that. Okay. No gloves. No gloves. You actually don't really want to be wearing gloves. Let me actually show you something. Let me show you something. So these are cryo gloves, okay? I have a pair of these because I have to handle the dewar, and when I'm pouring the liquid nitrogen out of the dewar, I do put one of these on the hand that's holding the thermos. Besides that, you really don't want to be wearing these because these are like super awkward and big and goofy, and I have no real dexterity with them. So it's hard for me to hold and grip things. I'm much more likely to spill something. And if you have, like, these gloves are going to protect you from the LN2, but if you have just like regular gloves, work gloves, stuff like that, even like waterproof gloves, if you have material on your skin when you get liquid nitrogen on it and it soaks into that material and holds the liquid nitrogen against your skin, that's how you could get severe burns. So you're actually way better off just having nothing on your hands, because if the liquid nitrogen hits your skin directly, as long as you're not holding it like in a cup in your hand, if it just hits your skin and falls off, it boils immediately and just flies right off your hand. Like you do not even feel it It's bizarre. It's not like water. It hits it and it's gone. So it's really strange, but you actually are better off without wearing gloves when you're dealing with stuff like this. Rob S. Steve just heats the whole thing back up to where you can handle it and repaste. Yeah, I mean, I guess maybe that's a possibility. It actually looks like it's so the frost is gone, which means that likely what's happening is because this the system is still on, it's still putting some heat into the cooler, and it's warming it back up again. Yeah, we're at 53 degrees on the pot. Wow, okay, so maybe this is something that I can handle. Maybe we can try it again. All right, why don't we try that? Should I just touch it? How about that? Should I touch it? It's fine. It's cold, but it's fine. Okay, so maybe we'll do that. All right, so let's shut this down. Shut down. So what brand of Tim is this? Is Kingpin KPX. This is the stuff. All right. So let's get rid of this. I'm gonna leave it on this angle. Wow, this warmed up really fast. I'm very surprised by that. Now the problem is that I don't necessarily think that I'm gonna be able to show you guys what this mount looks like what the CPU looks like. I don't have a camera that I could point at it to show you. So you're just gonna have to take my word for it. Whatever I find, I'll tell you. Is this on Twitch also? Nope. I don't stream on Twitch. Damn it. I have actually never streamed on Twitch. I don't have a reason for it. I'm not anti-Twitch. I've just never done it. I don't have an audience over there, so it's much harder to start, I guess. And I can stream to YouTube. Steve Cape. Brian, lots of new tech coming soon. CPUs from both teams. Intel GPUs on the horizon. Are you feeling energized as a content creator with the possibility for new video ideas? So here's the thing, and I'm sorry once again that you're staring at my crotch. I don't lack for video ideas. I actually have tons of ideas of stuff that I want to do on the channel. My biggest problem right now is finding or regaining traction on YouTube and finding the audience that wants to watch my stuff again. It really seems like recently the only people that have been watching are people, like you guys who are like loyal followers of the channel, or, click-throughs from when I post things on Twitter, or people who have notification bells. There's no like organic discovery going on of my channel, and when I look at my channel's analytics, it seems like a very, very, very high percentage of my views are coming from basically the same people. And it's hard to gauge what's going to draw people in at this point. Yeah, this is actually this is not bad to handle. Okay, good. Okay. So the paste is liquidy, or not solid. Where am I? Come on, camera angle. Thank you. All right, so let's get this off of here. Come on off. So I don't know if you guys can see that, but like, so there, even though like it looks like there's a little bit of a high contact point in the middle there, it looks like the mount was actually not great on this side. So maybe I need to make it more even pressure. But my point is, I don't see, it's still, it's not like a solid mass with cracking and whatnot. So let me try to clean this off. I got to get some isopropyl and a paper towel, and then we'll try again. All right. Okay. All right. Let's try it again. Why not? You guys are here, right? You want to see some stuff? All right, pot. Let's do your thing. And this is going to be a pretty definitive test. If the temperatures stay high with this remount, then you will know that that there was liquid metal and that is what actually cracked. All right, what do we got here? Had to put my son to bed. Was there a bad mount or something? Yes, bad mount and or cracked paste. Hard to say. No, the CPU was not lapped. All right, so what else you guys got going on here? It seems to be actually like one of the lower viewership streams that I've done, so I'm way more likely to see a question if you guys ask one. So please go ahead. What's up, Ryan? Where are you at on numbers so far? Well, we kicked it off pretty good. We had a plus 600 and something point Cinebench run initially, and then we had some severe cracking, and we lost 2,000 points because the temperatures were just sky high. Temperatures, they basically the CPU was just throttling. Does liquid metal harden up below a certain point? Yeah. Have you ever seen a 1440p 10.1 inch monitor? I've seen much smaller 1440p monitors. They're called cell phones. 8466. Thanks, Mike. All right, so see, the problem is now I've bottomed out the springs. I can't go any tighter, so I'm gonna have to trust this mount is good. It's not moving, so yeah. All right, so we're gonna have to refill. Refill and try again. All right, so I gotta refill my I gotta refill this and this. So be right back, guys. Chat amongst yourselves. Mike, amuse the people. Thank you very much. All right. Okay. So, let's go back to this. So we're at 29.6.5. Let's bring it down. So we're at negative 16, coming down. Boot this up. I'm gonna have to clear the CMOS again. This is rather frustrating. C. I get an error of C. I think that is a CPU error. All right. before this gets too cold, let me loosen this up a little bit. Maybe the mounting pressure is too high because I really cranked them down. It's possible. Okay. Is that going to work? Are you going to work? Give me the beeps. Come on, give me the beeps. Beeps? No, resetting. Resetting is fine. I'm fine with resetting. Beeps. All right, excellent. Beeps. We have beeps. All right. So the mounting pressure was too high, so yeah, that's fine. Mike talking keyboard stuff. Mike and I have been chatting a lot about keyboards recently. I've been kind of getting into the custom scene, but there's just still so much about it that I'm not entirely sure that I want to really dive into. So, you know, it's just such like a time and money sink that it just, and for the differences are so extremely small in like feel and sounds, and you know, eventually you get to a point of diminishing returns, I'm pretty sure. But Mike is big into it, and that's what his channel focuses on. So if you guys are into custom keyboards, make sure that you follow Mike in his channel, The Manic Geek. Sorry guys, just running through the BIOS settings right now, and we're going to go right to 5 gigahertz at 1.4 volts. I'm going to save this profile as 1.4. Okay, and then we're going to save changes and reset. Okay. All right, so let's get this cranking. This is the coolest splash screen, I think, right? EVGA always has the coolest splash screens. I've talked to them about getting an X570 Dark, but those boards are like extraordinarily limited, and they've already sold out. Like they were on sale for like a day, and they're sold out. So I'm likely going to be getting one. It's just a matter of when, and I understand that obviously there's certain supply constraints right now, so I'm not particularly worried about it. The paste, Clockmaster, the paste that I'm working with is Kingpin KPX. I've used this before on Sub-Zero overclocking, and it seems to be like choice of a lot of people. I know that like Thermal Grizzly also makes a really good one, like the Derbauer, the pink paste. But this is what I'm using now. This is the best paste that I have right now on hand. All right, so -30. So our thermocouple reader is reading -30. Let's see what... God damn it, Origin, go away. I don't want you here. We never wanted you here. Let's see what XTU is telling us. So this is probably not going to report below -5. Hey, super chat. MB67, what's going on, man? Cheers. Cheers to you too, sir. Thank you very much for the super chat. That caught my eye, right out of the corner of my eye, then the periph. Got the orange super chat going on. Thank you so much. I wonder if hardware info... I don't even know if I have hardware info on here. Let me see if I could just grab hardware info really fast. Oh, that's the wrong keyboard. Great. Great. What? Stop it. Stop. Okay, great. Now I got 2 of them. I just don't know if hardware info reports lower than -5. Or if it's just reading off the same diode. All right, come on, let's get down. Let's get down a little lower than -20. Don't notify about betas. Yeah, still, see, reading -5, and that's the lowest it's going to go. All right, so we're at 5 gigahertz though. Actually, why did I do that? Let me leave this up. Let me leave this up. Let me close this. All right, so yeah, all right. So we're at 5 gigahertz. Let's see how. I want to bring this down and try to run at 5 gigahertz. Hopefully these just stay put. Right down to 3. 2.7. What happened? Oh, wow. Look at that. 104. Yep. So it was... Okay. Well, all right. At least we diagnosed it. We know what the issue is. The interface material between the IHS and the die itself is cracked. So no amount of a good mount is going to solve that. And we're not getting any kind of good thermal transfer up to the pot. So we are thermal throttling at 105 Celsius, and the CPU is running at 2.3 gigahertz because we have no thermal transfer, and then we get a score of 5,700. So we solved that mystery, I guess. That is unfortunate. Man, that's kind of a bummer. Oh, super chat from Rob S. Thank you so much. Some LN2 money. Thanks for doing this. Well, thank you very much for watching this. Unfortunately, I think we're gonna have to cut this one short without any kind of decent results. But like I said, like this is a really good opportunity for me to learn stuff, right? So like I wasn't sure that so the guy told me that it was delidded and liquid metalled, right? But the thing is, I didn't know, I didn't witness that happen. I don't know what kind of a job he did. I don't know if I don't know if they were just lying to me. Who knows, right? So at that point, I'm just going to take the chip. I'm going to test it out. And now I know, like, liquid metal at these temperatures, no good. I'm not going to provide any kind of thermal transfer. I knew that liquid metal sub-zero is not great, but I didn't know it was going to happen this quickly. And I didn't know that we were going to have this many problems. So, but we learned something, right? And we didn't break anything. There's nothing broken here. And it can easily be rectified for the next time. So Mike says, what was the most Oh, sorry. Wow, how did I scroll all the way to the top? Okay. Okay. Um, just take a razor blade, cut the edges. Yeah, I mean, I'll take care of it. I can't do it now. I don't have, I'm not going to delid the whole thing now and clean it up. It'll be done. And perhaps like maybe the next live stream, next overclocking live stream, we could have another shot at this chip, because I think that there's a lot of potential here. The board, the X299 Dark, is a fantastic board. Like, I love working with this board. And the 7980XE is a really good overclocking chip and has a lot of flexibility in what you could do with it. So maybe we'll just try this again when the chip is in a better state and I've repasted it or whatnot. So I think that that's probably the way that I'll go. Unless you guys like definitely want to see not this CPU again, in which case, I could just try something else. But I think I want to try this again. I'm going to shut this down. Thanks for reading my chat twice. Did I read it twice? Thanks, Rob S. Some extra LN2 money for giving it a second go. Love to see the CPU delidded with the cracked liquid metal. That would be cool. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what it's going to look like, honestly. Like, who knows? But if it looks like anything interesting, I'll certainly like put a picture up on Twitter or something. I wish this would focus on my face instead of on this. Stop focusing on this. I'm right here, camera. Face. So yeah, I mean, I think that giving another try with this chip is probably the way I'm going to go. But I like doing this, and I like the fact that I'm kind of exploring something new. So, as long as you guys are down, then I'd love to give this another try some point. I don't know that it attracts the audience that like some of the other live streams I do, like the live PC builds and stuff, because, there's only 60 of you guys in here. Normally there's 100 or 200. So maybe people's interest in this is not great, or again, maybe the audience for my channel is very limited right now. So whoever is in here, I really do appreciate your viewership and you sticking around. Well, some other people are not. So I don't know. I guess we've been streaming for like an hour and a half, so that's not a short amount of time. But if you guys want to give me any more questions, then please feel free to do so. Have you thought about going dry ice route for the learning curve? I've done dry ice quite a bit. I've done a lot of dry ice overclocking. I've done a lot that's not on camera either. Like I put out a bunch of videos last year doing it, and I did a lot of it, that I didn't film. So I have a lot of experience with dry ice. I'm not particularly, I mean, I can learn stuff. I'm not, I'm not above learning. But I think that at this point I want to try to move on to LN2 if possible. And I have right now a good situation where I could try it safely. I bought a 6-liter Dewar. It's small. It's maybe, I don't know, this tall or something, and like this big around. It's a good portable size. I could put it, right there, and I carry in these things. And I, when I talk to, honestly, so this is my house, right? Ooh. This is my house. I do this out of my house. And one of the considerations that I have to make whenever I make any kind of content is this going to have any impact on my family, my pets, my wife, and LN2 is not, it's not a dangerous material if you know how to handle it. Like, don't go bathing in it, but it's fine. But my wife understandably had some concerns initially when I said I wanted to work with it. She didn't really want it in the house or anything like that. And I did find a way that she was okay with me using it, which was I get a small Dewar, I keep it outside. The only things that come inside are like these little small thermoses, and it's not a danger to anybody. And I understand that like maybe some of those fears are a little bit overblown, but that's the way she feels. And it's more important for me to make sure that, she's happy with our home life than to get, liquid nitrogen overclocking on the channel. So it took me a little while to work that situation out. We worked it out, and she's fine with this now. So I'd like to continue to try to explore this while I have the opportunity to. And I think that also it's something that I just haven't done before because, like I said, I have a lot of experience with dry ice. So that was a very long-winded explanation there. All right. I enjoyed the stream. Always fun to learn together. Thanks, man. You provide a lot of good advice. I appreciate you. May have asked this already, but do you do case mods? Case mods seem like about the only fun thing not in short supply right now. So I don't necessarily, I think I've touched on this before on the channel. I'm not a case modder. I have modified cases in the past, mostly for functional reasons. I'm not against drilling or cutting or shaping things or, fabricating little parts. I'm fine with that, and I've done it. The last stream that we did where we built my new editing PC, I literally got the Dremel out and cut it on live stream and fabricated a little piece that, was required for the build. And so like that kind of stuff I think I'm actually pretty good at, but I'm not a case modder. I'm not somebody that's going to build custom parts onto a case or anything like that. That's a little bit outside of my comfort zone. I'm not very artistic, so I think that me giving that a try wouldn't have great results. But that's okay. There's some things that I can be bad at. I'm fine with that. Don't close those cups. It's not closed. It's not there. There's no pressure building here. It's still there. It's allowed to breathe. I understand the physics of liquid nitrogen. Thank you, though. That thermometer is slow. I help you. Okay. I don't know why it's not slow, but thanks. Compromise, happy wife, happy life. Yeah. I mean, yes, I'm not about to put somebody's happiness, put my YouTube channel above my family's happiness in any way. So, all right, let's see, anything else? That is in Arabic, and I wish I could read it. Is there a way to translate that in Google? Translate. How do I translate this? Search. I'm going to search for it. Peace be upon you. Wow, peace be upon you too. Thank you very much. I appreciate your viewership. All right. My wife recently made me box up most of my motherboards. Yeah, I am lucky that I have, because this is, it's a business for me. My wife certainly understands that I need space for inventory and projects and stuff like that. So I'm fortunate enough to have a house with a good sized basement. That's not really a basement. It's, there's like a giant window right there and walk out and whatnot. It's like a above ground basement, and it's a nice space that I could work in, and she leaves alone. And that's fine. It works out for us. Do you have space in the garage to do this LN2? Would be easier for all than I think if you did. I mean, I guess. I don't know why it would be easier than this. This is where I have all my lighting and camera equipment. This is way easier for me than doing it in the garage. I suppose it might satisfy some people, or it may allow me to keep more liquid nitrogen or get a bigger dewar or something. But this was pretty easy for me. Did you get the dewar from a cattle ranch? No? Is that a thing? Is that a joke? I can't tell. Maybe I'm just dumb. Sorry. I got it from Amazon. My wife hates my server rack in the living room. Yeah, I don't think my wife would go for a server rack in the living room either. I don't even have an HTPC in the living room. And honestly, I don't think that I really want one. We're fine with our entertainment setup as is. Yeah. So, what else, guys? Anything else? Anything else going on? Mike, are you still here? If you're not, that's fine. If you're not here, blink twice. Yeah. So, this was really fun and enjoyable for me. And bull semen. Oh, yeah. No, ordered mine from Amazon. No semen in my doer. If that's something that I have to clarify. Yeah, it was actually really, it came from Amazon in like a day. Like it's a 6 liter doer. It was like $150 maybe or something. It did come with the little test tube holders, presumably for bodily fluids of multiple different kinds. But no semen in my doer. Mike, yeah, I've been here. Okay, good. Good to see that you're still here and alert. Yeah, it has been a really chill chat tonight, which is fine by me. Like I said, it allows me to be able to see everybody's questions. Like so this thing I have up here, all super chats will be read on stream. That I felt like I needed to put that there because there were a lot of people that had questions that I didn't see or I didn't answer or something, and then I had people getting mad at me for it. This was like a year ago, maybe, when I used to do like live streams at my computer and just like chat with people. I can't necessarily see every question that comes through if there's a lot of people here and the chat's going fast. It's just not possible. But don't feel like you have to super chat me. Like, I still read as much as I possibly can, and especially if it's a slow night tonight, I'll read everything. So, you know, I don't need you to pay me for attention. Like, I get it. Like, yeah, it's fine. You know, I'll try to help out everybody if I can. 30 liters inside is dangerous. I use a 30-liter doer. You made the right choice with a smaller doer to start. Yeah, 6 liters is fine. And it's like, I filled 2 of these like pretty significantly large thermoses tonight. And like, these are still full basically because we had to stop. I streamed for an hour and a half and I used like I used probably 2 full thermoses. You know, like I still have way more outside that I unfortunately will probably not get used. I'll probably have to refill it, you know, but yeah, 6 liters for just me doing a stream like this, overclocking one component is plenty. So, and then to fill a 6-liter doer is easy. Like, I could just take it over to an air gas and have them fill it. That's what I did today. It was like $34 or something. And it's a small enough thing that I can fit in my car and drive with the windows open. So, you know, it's fine. Like, it's easy, and I think it's a good size. If any of you guys are interested in doing anything like this, that might be a good way to start with something like that. Great stream, says Gabe C. Well, thank you very much, Gabe C. I guess that's it. Really cool. We got somebody chatting in Arabic. That was cool. That was unexpected. Okay, so I guess we're just about done, guys. Thank you very much for the super chats. Thank you very much for your questions. Thanks for hanging out while I don't know, did something that I'm not familiar with and maybe was not all that good at. But yeah, we'll try this again. This will not be the only one. Yeah, this will not be the only time that we do this because I think that it is entertaining and can hopefully, what did I just do? Yeah, and can hopefully lead to some learning experiences for everybody, me included. Yeah. Okay, so that's it. Thanks so much, guys. We're going to sign off now, and I will see you... I think I'll see you next week. So I am going to be, for those of you guys who don't know, I'm going to be going to Las Vegas for the World Series of Poker at the beginning of October for parts of 2 weeks, like almost 2 weeks. So I'm not sure if I'm going to have content lined up then or not. And honestly, if I don't, I'm okay with that. I could use like a break and maybe like reset some of the channel analytics and algorithm issues that we've been having. So I don't think that I'm going to line anything up for that time. But next weekend, I'll still be here. And maybe we'll do like another live stream next weekend. I have so I'll put up a Twitter poll. Actually, I think I could put up a poll in the chat. Can't I? Yeah, okay. So I'm going to put up a poll in the chat as far as what do you want to see in the stream next week? Stream next week. And we're going to do more LN2 OC or custom full size keyboard build. Boom. Ask the community. Oh, I guess typing has kept changing my scenes. That's cool. All right. So yeah. So I'll be interested to see what you guys want to see next week. I'll do whatever you guys want because I think either of those would be pretty cool. If I don't do a live stream of the keyboard build, I'm probably just gonna have to build it myself regardless because I'm really anxious to see. I ordered this very limited run, very limited batch, like full size custom. Like those are unicorns basically, and so it's supposed to be here next week. And I think the original run of these that were made was like 8 keyboards. I think they have since made 92 more. I think there's 100 total. But this company is like very new and very small. I don't know if anybody really knows about them, but it'll be a full-size custom keyboard, which is just like very, very unusual. So yeah, that would be cool to build. Let's see. Where's the option for both? Yeah, so we're at 75%. 75% more LN2. All right, well, if that's what you guys want, we'll give this another crack. Another crack. We'll take another crack at it. Something with crack. We'll do something with crack next week. Yeah. 18 was batch 1. Oh, thanks, Mike. All right, we're ending the stream. Thanks so much, guys. Really appreciate you being here. Thank you very much for being loyal viewers and hanging out with me on a Monday night. And I'll see you next week. Yeah, next week. Later.